Good morning from beautiful Positano, Italy. We're looking out over the Tiranian Sea here on the beautiful Amalfi Coast. Looking at the beautiful vista here with all the pastel colored homes. It's starting to get busy here. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning, 9:30. And so this is when the day tourists come to Positano, and so it goes from being a nice serene morning to a crazy day, crazy afternoon, and then they all go back to wherever they came from, and we have the place to ourselves again. So anyway, I'm Mark Jacobson. I'm with Mark's Delicious Adventures, and I'm decided to do a little tour of Positano for you today. I'm here with two of my childhood friends, Carla and Janet. We've been traveling Italy now for a week. We'll be here for about another week before we head back to the United States. So I thought I would just take you around town and show you a few things. We're looking out over, again, the Tiranian Sea. This is part of the Mediterranean Sea, and more accurately, this would be called the Gulf of Salerno. The town of Salerno would be in this direction, which would be east. That would be on the eastern end of the Amalfi Coast Drive, which you probably can't see cars driving up there, but there is one road that goes through town here, and that's where the cars, well, actually you can see the cars going right there. But yeah, it's about a 25-mile stretch that is called the Amalfi Coast Drive, and in the summertime, of course, if you've been here before, you know it's always a traffic jam. This time of the year, it isn't too bad. We came out here from Sorrento yesterday, and the traffic was not bad. But these are tiny little streets. You can see here, as I spin my camera around, how small these streets are, and a lot of motorcycles, and so you'll see why when you come here to Italy that people really use their motorcycles. But yeah, the streets are very small, and the cars share the street basically with pedestrians, so you have to be really careful when you're walking around here so that you don't get ran into by a car. So back to the Amalfi Coast here. Probably one of the most famous attractions in all of Italy is the Amalfi Coast. We're going to go down and I'll show you the Ascenta Church here in a little bit. We'll start walking here. I should talk a little bit about the Tiranian Sea. Tiranian Sea, of course, close to shore here is not that deep, but if you go all the way out, it's about 12,000 feet deep. And just around the bend there would be the towns of Amalfi, which of course is the biggest town and the namesake really of the Amalfi Coast. And there's also, of course, Salerno on the far end. Several towns. There's 13 towns along the Amalfi Coast. They're all pretty small towns. Positano itself is only 4,000 people, so it's not a big town. But it is very, very busy. I think they said that about 15 to 20,000 tourists come here a day. So, it gets very, very busy, very crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and start walking here before all the crowds show up. So I'll tell you just a little bit about Positano. We are about an hour and a half north of Naples, north and east of Naples, and about 30 minutes kind of directly north and east of Sorrento, probably more east of Sorrento. We got out here from Sorrento in about 30 minutes yesterday, and so there is only one road through town, which is the road I'm walking on, which winds around down here and goes all the way up there and then out to, eventually Salerno. So, like I said, the population is 4,000. Rent-wise, if you're going to rent an apartment here, it's about $700 a month. For a 1-bedroom, for a 3-bedroom, it would be about $1,300 a month. $423,000 is the average home price. That would be for about a 12,000 square foot home. Average monthly salary here is about $1,500. Utility-wise, it's about $165 a month, $30 a month for internet. And gas right now in Italy is pushing $6 a gallon. It's about $5.75. But here in Positano, of course, it's a little bit more because we're in a touristy area. It's about $7 an hour. Just look at this vista up here. Just everywhere you look is just an amazing vista. Transportation-wise, like I said, the only way through town really is this road. You see a lot of smaller cars and a lot of motorcycles. There is a bus that goes through here, a public bus that you can catch. Goes very frequently. It's like $2 a ride, basically. You can buy a day pass for like $6. I think they have a free 3-day pass also. I can't remember the price on that. I think it might be $9, something like that. That's called the Sitta bus. And climate-wise, of course, here, you can see how beautiful the vegetation is there. They get about almost 30 inches of rain here. So if you're from California listening to this, they get about 3 times as much rain as Southern California. And so it'd be comparable, I guess, to the San Francisco area, in terms of vegetation. But it does, to me, have a little bit more of a tropical feel than San Francisco. So anyway, you can see the beautiful vista here. I tell you, these gimbals, they have a mind of their own. So you can see how steep these hills are here, looking up. And so there's not much room for agriculture in this area just because of the landscape, the terrain. However, there are lemon trees, orange trees, olives that grow prominently on the hillsides. And olives, lemons, oranges are sold in the local markets. We'll see limoncello. Limoncello is a very popular liqueur that is sold everywhere along the Amalfi Coast. People can't get enough of limoncello. And limoncello actually is basically what it is the rinds of the lemon, which the lemons grow just huge here. They take the rinds of the lemon, put them in like a big container, glass container, pour a good quality vodka on them, macerate and let them sit for like 30 days and ferment. And then you put a simple syrup with that, kind of a sugar based, and you've got limoncello. So anyway, you see that everywhere here. Other products that are made locally, caught locally, are anchovies, and you see these beautiful ceramics everywhere you go. Vietnamese ceramics, they're called. You see ceramics everywhere along the Amalfi Coast, but the ceramics that are sold here in Positano are higher quality and also more expensive. So we were kind of shocked at the prices. But of course, the king of everything here is really tourism, and most of the people here are employed in tourism. So you see a gas station here. It is to, let's see, I think I saw something yesterday where it was 180. It says 203 for super, but I think it was 180 per liter, which translates roughly to about $7 a gallon here. So anyway, we're going to enter here, one of the more touristy streets. And like I said, people come here to shop. You see these beautiful, very colorful dresses here. 90% of the clothes that are sold here are women's clothes. And there is a style here called Moda Positano, which is kind of that brightly colored, beach wear, I guess you'd say. So people come here and they buy the brightly colored dresses, the women do, and also a lot of linen. I'll talk a little bit more about that. Brunella is one of the more fine linen makers here, or linen clothes shops, and they say that, if you want a good quality linen, that you have to make sure that it's either made in Positano or Italy, and it should be 60 to 100% linen, preferably 100%. If it's not at least 60% linen, it's not really considered quality. Now you see the quaint vista here of Positano, how cute these streets are. This has been featured in a lot of films. I'm sure it may seem kind of familiar to you, feel like you've seen it before, and that's because it's been featured in one of my favorite films of all times, Under the Tuscan Sun, and also the movie Only You in 1994. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones wrote the song Midnight Rambler in the cafes of Positano while on vacation. But due to the beautiful vistas, the beauty along here, it has been nicknamed the Divine Coast. And the city of Positano is featured in John Steinbeck's 1953 short story Positano, and that's really what got tourism going here more than anything. So let's walk. So yeah, La Bottega di Brunella. This is supposed to be one of the better stores for linen and women's dresses. So yeah. I'm going to come here later. You don't see that many men's clothing stores here, and there's some really nice linen shirts in here. They're not cheap. I was looking at linen shirts yesterday, but they were like 90 euros, which is equivalent to about $95 to $100. So we'll see how much I like it. So this is the perfect time for me to do a little tour like this because the crowds haven't arisen yet. I think it's probably about, I don't know, what time is it? 9:30? Yeah, 9:18. So everybody's still having breakfast, and all of the outlying communities haven't brought in their tourists yet. But it will be crazy later, I'm sure. So let's talk a little bit about Roman history. The first archaeological evidence dates back to 1st century BC, when luxurious Roman villas were built on the coast here in the Sorrento Peninsula. You see some of these luxury homes up here. We'll see a lot more of that as we go along here. But right now we're kind of on the touristy street. Between the 15th and 17th century, Positano became pretty wealthy. It was a port that traded a lot of food, such as fish and other resources, and so it was a pretty successful port during the 15th, 16th, and 17th century. However, in the mid-1800s, there was a lot of poverty in Italy, and which led to a lot of immigration, especially to America. About 50% of the population of Positano immigrated, or emigrated, I should say, and most of whom went to America. In the mid-19th century, the town, like I said, had fallen upon hard times. And so by the 1900s, half the people had left, and it sort of was just a poor fishing village in the beginning of the 1900s. And then in the 1950s, like I said, after John Steinbeck's novel was written, things really started to take off as far as tourism goes. He had a famous line in his book that said, quote, "It is a dream place that isn't quite real when you are there, and it becomes beckoningly real after you have gone." It is a dream place that isn't quite real when you are there and becomes beckoningly, well, it's hard to say that word, beckoningly real after you have gone. So anyway, that's what he wrote about Positano. And so you see all the colorful clothes here that they sell. There is also a hike up in the mountains here. If you go way up there, there is a 4-mile hike called the Path of the Gods. Got to bring good shoes and water, lots of water, and allow about 3 to 4 hours in order to do that. But the views from up there are, of course, absolutely stunning. A lot of locals here and tourists will take a picnic with them, some bread and cheese, and have a picnic up there while they're hiking. Now you can see the dome here for the Church of the Holy Rosary. This is kind of dates back to the 12th century. And Positano sits on the site of a sprawling Roman villa, and we'll see a few reminders of that as we walk. This is one of the more popular little bakeries here in Positano that sells coffee and pastries and what have you. Boy, they've really got a nice selection here today. A lot of really nice croissants. Of course, tiramisu, which I can't get enough of. And the famous cannolis, which kind of got their start down in Sicily. They've got a few of those here. You don't see that many of those in Positano here. That's more of a Sicilian thing. So now we're going to get off the main drag, the street here, which is Christopher Columbus Street, and we're going to walk along this pedestrian path here. I'll be relieved to get off this road. And so you see the name of this little square that we're in right here, called the Piazza dei Mulini. And so if somebody didn't tell you this was a plaza, you would never know it. But this is kind of a meeting place for the upper town, as they call this area, the upper town. And you'll see why as we make our way down towards the beach. But here's a front view of the Church of the Holy Rosary here. See if I can go in there real quick and just show you what it looks like. I don't want to be too invasive here. Oh, there's nobody in here. Yep, so this is really beautiful. Again, this is an 11th century interior. And up by the altar here, they have a Roman sarcophagus casket right there that is delicately carved, dating back to the 1st century BC. It's a beautiful Church of the Holy Rosary. Some of the gorgeous frescoes here on the That's good. I'm glad I was able to go inside here without disturbing anybody. So you see some of the shops aren't open yet, like this one here, always Positano, very popular shop. Looking back at Klee Bakery there again. You can sit up here on the terrace. If you buy something at Klee Bakery, they say that the young people like to sit on the terrace and the older people sit in the cafe. And so if you want a coffee, a cappuccino, croissant, tiramisu, that's a good place to go. Absolute Positano is another really popular shop selling a lot of tile. This dog is getting a lot of attention.
Yeah.
What's his name?
It's Baby.
Baby?
Bongo.
Oh, Bonzo. Oh, Bongo.
Buongiorno.
Oh, he's cute.
Buongiorno.
Boy, what a spoiled, huh? Yeah, so I'll show you this tile up here. It's pretty amazing. This is one of the nicer tile shops. Here's the gorgeous tile. Everything's got lemons on it too. Lemons, lemons, lemons. Look, people can't get enough lemons here. So yeah, tile and art here. Absolute Positano. One of my favorite shops. Really nice. Look at this. I just love this. They ship anywhere too, so that's the thing. People are always like, oh, how am I going to get that home? That looks like a tabletop actually. How am I going to get that home? Well, have it shipped. It's going to cost a lot of money, but if you really like it. So we'll go back here to the Piazza and we'll head down dei Mulini, which is a pedestrian-only path. It's kind of a nice break from all the craziness, the traffic, the motorcycles. Look at this clothing here. You see what I mean? The really colorful clothing, mostly women's clothing, a lot of linen, which, you know, when you wear it around Positano, you're like, wow, this is pretty cool. But if you go back to your own city and wear that, you get a lot of kind of strange little stares from people like, whoa, just get back from vacation? Oh, I should mention, oh, the lemon slush stand is not open yet. So anyway, not open yet. Normally there is a lemon slush stand here. They call it Granita. And you see where people are sitting here waiting. This is the Piazza here, the upper meeting place for the city of Positano, where a lot of people will meet each other. But normally there is a Granita stand. It's called Granita, which is basically another word for lemon slush. And the family has been following the same secret lemon slush recipe for generations. And of course, Positano is famous for its lemons. And you see them everywhere. They're the largest lemons you'll ever see. And they smell and taste amazing. And the Granita is one of Positano's most famous treats. And like I said, just basically a lemon slushy. So we had one yesterday. It was really good. They serve it just in a little cup. It costs €2. So now this section here that we're going into, just a lot of shops and galleries. None of it is very cheap, but we're gonna go downtown here, continue down the hill to the main part of town, the beach. So you see the map here of Positano. So we're kind of up here right now, and we're headed down here to the church and the beach. So when you first get here, it's a little disorienting because there are so many stairways and narrow passageways that just when you think you know where you're going, then you realize you don't. But that's all part of the fun. So a lot of these shops, of course, are selling things that everybody wants when they come to Positano. The limoncello. I'll show you. This is a real nice display of limoncello here. But you see these kind of displays everywhere where they're selling all things lemon. You know, perfumes, soaps, cookies, citronella, anything you can think of. All the accessories, of course, that go along with limoncello. So they're really popular. And of course, a lot of housewares too. Anything from pottery to, you know, tablecloths, aprons, what have you. People come here to buy things with lemons on them. So I really do like lemons myself. So it catches my eye anytime I go by one of these stores. Yep, so we'll just keep going here. This is La Zagara here on the right hand side. This is one of the more expensive pastry shops. Let's see if I can go get you in there. Let's take a look at their window here. Of course, they've got the croissants up on top here. What do they have over here? I've not had one of these. Delizia al limone. Sponge cake and lemon cream. Boy, that sounds really good. I might have to come back here today and have that. They do have the cannolis Siciliana and chocolate mousse. Look at the tarts. Really nice. I wonder what they've got inside here. I didn't get a chance to go in here yesterday. Lots of wines. And I suppose, oh, they've got all kinds of sandwiches here. Very nice. Oh, and here's the main display case here. Wow. What do we got here? Tiramisu, of course. Wow, those look really good there. Lobster tail with chantilly cream. Huh. Wow, very nice. Got a nice patio out here. Ooh, this is the place to come, isn't it? For if you want a nice dessert and coffee overlooking the water. Wow. Yep, it's on my list. I'm gonna come back here later today. Continue on the pedestrian street here, and again you see all kinds of housewares, tablecloths, bags. There's a lot of leather here too, Italian leather. Bags are a real popular thing, purses for people to buy. A lot of candy here as well. What do we got here? A lot of candy. Everything made from lemon. Lemon biscotti is another thing that they sell a lot of. So, yeah. So we are just about at the church here. So you see the narrow streets. This is pedestrian only. You know, in Italy, a lot of times, even the streets like this that you think are pedestrian only, you're walking down them, all of a sudden a motorcycle comes by. And you're like, whoa, I didn't expect that. We were walking by here yesterday, and we noticed these huge hydrangeas. Not only are they huge, but look at the color of these things. Really, it's hard to believe those are real. And of course, this building here, this is quite interesting. This is today the Hotel Palazzo Murat, and but that used to be a Benedictine monastery, and Napoleon, fearing the power of the church, had many such monasteries closed during his rule here, and this became a private palace named for his brother-in-law, who was briefly the King of Naples. And I can take you into the plaza here real quick so you can see how pretty this is. We've got a nice little restaurant in here too. I haven't looked at the menu, so I don't know how expensive or inexpensive it is. But from out here in the patio, you get a wonderful view of the dome of the church here. Let's see if I can. There you go. I'm going to see if I can fix my camera here a little bit. Yep, so wonderful patio here. Former Benedictine monastery. So look at this beautiful view here. I don't know if you can see the church dome kind of in the right there. So it's a nice place to come and have breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. Okay, there we go. Trying to get my phone to cooperate here a little bit better. Kind of wants to sit not horizontal. We'll continue on. Notice the trellis above our head. This is all, just regular logs that have been put together. And I can imagine as summer wears on how nice this would be on a hot day to be underneath this trellis. So you probably can't tell, but we're going downhill at a pretty rapid rate here, down towards the beach, down towards the church, the Ascenta Church. So we're going to check that out here in just a minute. It was closed yesterday. We couldn't get in there, so but I will tell you about it a little bit. And then we'll continue on to the beach. They had a little concert going on down here yesterday, so we got a chance to listen to that. That was kind of fun.
And that's where they keep the dog food. So when you open the pantry door, all I see is dog food.
Okay, so I'm going to just back away from this a little bit. So yeah, they had this completely closed yesterday. Yeah, looks like there's people in there. Maybe they'll let us go in there. That would be awesome. Oh yeah, it's open. Wow. I'm going to go outside and tell you about it first, and then we'll come in and look at it, because I don't want to disturb the people inside. So let's see if I can pan up here a little bit. Get back here a little bit. Looking down at the beach here, so let's look back at the church, see if we can get a view of that. Yeah, so this is the Church of Santa Maria Assunta, and it sits up upon Roman ruins. It was once the abbey of Positano's 12th century Benedictine monastery. And originally Romanesque, it was eventually abandoned along with the entire lower town, which we're in right now, out of fear of pirate attacks. When the coast was clear in the 18th century, the church was given an extreme Baroque makeover. And as we walk in, the first chapel on the left is a manger scene. And it contains original 18th century figurines that give you an idea of folk costumes of the age. And above the main altar is a Black Madonna, which is an icon-like Byzantine painting, likely brought here from Constantinople by the monks in the 12th century. I don't know if we'll get a chance to see that because there's people in there praying. Locals have a story about the town's namesake. There's a painting in there. Pirates had taken the painting and headed on their ship as plunder, and a violent storm hit, sure to sink the evil ship. The painting of Mary spoke, saying "Posa, posa," which in Italian means "lay me down," and the ship glided safely to the harbor. The pilots were so stricken they became Christians, and locals kept the painting, and the town became known as Positano, recalling Mary's command. So I think that's a tall tale. So anyway, let's go in there, see if we can see the manger scene, and then maybe also see the Black Madonna photo. I just don't want to be invasive to anybody that is praying. Oh yes, here's the manger scene. Okay, good. There's nobody in here. So let's see if we can find that Black Madonna painting. Above the main altar is the Black Madonna. Okay. An icon-like Byzantine painting likely brought here from Constantinople by monks in the 12th century. I'll turn around here and give you one more look. I'm glad we got in here. We weren't able to get in here yesterday, so this is really nice that we're able to get in here. Of course, Europe is so famous for their churches. See what else we can see in here, as long as there's nobody praying. Some of the side Stations of the Cross. Yeah, so that was really great that we were able to go in there and see that. I'll tell you about the tower too, which is actually came later. See if I can get a good view of that, the bell tower. I'm going to back up here a little bit. Yeah, let's see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. Okay, yeah, so there's the bell tower. That dates from 1707. Whoops. My phone doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. Okay, dates from 1707. Above the door, you can see this right here. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer so you can see this. Is a Romanesque relief that was scavenged from the original church. And this depicts a wolf mermaid with 7 little fish. And it was a reminder to worshipers of how integral the sea was to their livelihood. And the bell tower, well, this was nicknamed the Our Pagan Protector. It's a good example of how early Christians incorporated pagan elements into their worship. And yeah, so anyway, that's kind of interesting. One other thing I was reading about, I was telling you that the church and this part of Positano was built on Roman ruins. And let's see if I can get this to. And so they have an underground Roman exhibit here. This was buried by Mount Vesuvius eruption in 79 AD, and Positano excavated one small part of the villa that was here. And a small museum here provides views of a surviving fragment of a large Roman fresco. And there's also a crypt here in the church. Wow. My device here does not want to cooperate. According to local legend, the Benedictines sat their dead brothers on the stone choir chairs here to decompose to remind everyone of their mortality. Boy, that's pretty morbid, isn't it? So let's go down to the beach. So we're going to kind of go down into what's called the Piazzetta, kind of the lower town meeting spot for people. That also is filled with shops sort of adjacent to the beach. So you see some more of this beautiful tile. We were down here yesterday and it was raining cats and dogs, and we only had one umbrella, and we were holed up inside this this tile shop here. Doggone it. My device does not want to cooperate here, so sorry about that. Yeah, and so we had to find a store that sold umbrellas and buy 2 more umbrellas because it was really raining. Another thing that you see a lot of are sandals everywhere, and many of these shops they make custom sandals where they'll have them ready for you like in just minutes. So you pick out the soles, the style, the color, and they just put it all together. So he's making them right here, the sandals. Yep. Kind of while you wait, he can do it for you. All these different sandals here.
What about one of the ones that tie up?
So yeah, you just pick whatever style, whatever color you want, and he can do it for you. I'm going to take a minute here to try to adjust my device. See if that helps a little bit. See a lot of blue linen here too. Clothes or shops that are dedicated just to selling blue linen clothes. That's my color, so I may have to come back and buy something blue linen. So this is the beach, obviously. We're looking out at the, it's called the Spazio Grande, or basically main beach, Grand Beach. And you see a lot of, well, later on today, if the weather holds, you're going to see a lot of people out here. Down here on this end are a lot, that's the paid section. And so if you want a nice beach chair, cabana type thing, you have to pay about 25 euros to be on the beach. This is the free section right here that we're walking by right here. So not as nice of a beach, and you have to bring all of your own stuff. Another thing you can do here, if you arrive by ferry, the ferries come in over here. You see all the people waiting. If you're staying at one of the hotels in Positano that's up on the hill, well, they're all up in the hill, you can pay $10 to have them tote your luggage up to the hotel, which I should say 10 euros, which after having done that myself is definitely worth the 10 euros. So keep that in mind if you ever come here. A lot of nice cafes along the waterfront here. These really fill up as the day goes on. People come out here to have breakfast, lunch, dinner, a drink, what have you. There we go. It's like my gimbal wants to sit non-horizontal in the device here, so it's very frustrating. I don't know if my gimbal motor is wearing out or what's going on here. But yeah, so half public, half private. This beach is loved by celebrities. Loved by celebrities who are often spotted here. And you'll notice that the sand here on the beach is not the best quality sand. It's volcanic sand, so it's got a black color, and so it's sort of pebbly. It's not really pleasant to walk in, and so people wear sandals when they come to the beach here because it kind of hurts to walk around barefooted. Up on the hill here is a very chic club called Music on the Rocks, and that gets started real late in the evening. Kind of the last remaining piece of the 1970s scene here in Positano, when the city really rocked. And but it's dead until really late, and you can go inside. They still have a cool disco interior, or you can go upstairs to the Fly Bar. Boy, I tell you what, this is really not doing well here for me. I wanted to give you a shot here of this is the $1 million photo right here. This is let's see. This is called this is the photo that you see on all the postcards here. The pyramid, as they call this, the classic Positano photo. And so we're kind of on the east end of the beach, the Spazio Grande beach. And boat trips all leave from over here. We're going to walk down that way. But just look at this beautiful view of the pyramid. I'm going to set my device down here real quick and just see if I can adjust this a little bit so it doesn't keep doing annoying things. Maybe that'll help. Okay. So again, you can look up at the church there. We were just in the church. Look at this unbelievable vista looking out here at the beach. So here in this section, you see a lot of boats out there. There are some fishing boats. There are some recreational boats here, and then of course the ferries that will take you to places like Amalfi, Capri, Salerno, Sorrento. Out in the distance here, let's see if I can get a little bit better view. You look off to the left here, you see this island out here. This is called Legali Island, and that's a private island that's owned by a Sorrentine businessman by the name of Giovanni Russo, and he bought it in 2004. Kind of turned it into a private resort. You can go out there and rent the whole thing yourself if you want to. You can have an event out there. But he's a very important person here on the Amalfi Coast. He's opened many of the better hotels in the region. So yeah, Legally, Ligalli Island. Also, you can see the watchtowers here. There's one here, and there's actually 3 watchtowers here. Back in the medieval days, they were strategically situated along the bay here within sight of each other to relay smoke signals to help protect the settlement from pirates. One of the towers, the Teresa Tower, which is in the distance, that is now a guest house that was purchased privately in 1817. There's the church again. So look at all these nice cafes. Come over here and have a drink. We're going to go on a little walk up the side of the hill here. We ate over here yesterday at La Cambusa restaurant right up in here. It was really good. We all had pasta, and it was very, very good. I had gnocchi with kind of a arrabbiata sauce, which is tomato sauce with a little bit of chili in it, so it's got a little bit of heat. So you see all the boats here. You can actually, charter a boat. You can, from a local fisherman or person that owns a boat, and take it out yourself if you want. Have them take you out for a fee, if you've got the money. I wanted to see if I could see the lions here. There were a couple busts of lions. Oh, there they are. Gosh, if I wouldn't have, they could have bit me in the face as I walked by. But I'm going to go back here and tell you about these lions here. Yeah, so you see there's 2 original Roman columns on either side, one here, one there. And then you've got these lions here. There's one on this side of the steps leading down to the beach. And then there's one also over here. So according to legend, they say that these lions, residents traded their historic baptistery font with Amalfi town for 2 iron lions that you see here facing the beach. You can also look up and see the tiles on top of the church there. That's covered with all the local tiles that you see everywhere here in Positano. So I'm glad we were able to find those for you. And then again, there's the Spaccia Grande, the main beach. So let's head down to one of the prettiest hikes in Positano along the water here. And we're going to go down by the ferry terminal. You'll see all these people that are unloading and all these people that are waiting to get on the ferry. And I'm thanking my lucky stars that I got started early on this tour, because this is about the time when the mobs start in town and it gets super, super busy. let's go up here. You're probably going to hear me breathing a little bit harder just because we've got a lot of steps to climb. So we're going on what is called, we're going to go up these stairs right here. I don't know if you can see those stairs very well. Very, very good. But you see this, whoops. Can't really see that very well, but she's a statue of this lady holding fish. And this new area that we're going to be going through here, Via Positano di America, or Americani. And so this tiny road or trail that we're going to go on, back in the day, between like 1860 and 1940, when a lot of these small fishing villages fell onto hard times, about 50% of the people here in Positano immigrated to America, and as did a lot of other places, Sicily being another place where a lot of people immigrated to America because it was really a bad time here economically, and so there were opportunities in the United States. And so this is kind of named, this trail here is sort of named for all of the Positano citizens who moved to America. And so we're going to go up that path. You see everybody waiting for the ferry and everybody on the ferry waiting to get off.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, so anyway, turn around and go back, go up the stairs. So this is not for the faint of heart. When you're walking from the beach up to your accommodations, it is a lot of steps. And just when you think there can't possibly be more steps, we're almost there. You go around the corner and you're like, oh wow, here's another huge set of steps. And so everything, stairs, stairs, stairs everywhere you go in Positano. So now we get a real nice view of the ferry. I'm going to turn around so you can see the panorama here. We were down there on that end of the beach, looking back at the church. So here we go. So we're going to get some amazing views here as we go up the walk. And you know, based on the weather forecast, it's so crazy because when we looked at the weather here a couple of days ago, we were really bummed out because we thought, man, it's going to be raining the entire time we're here. And it said it was going to be raining right now, and it's not raining. So you can see the watchtowers that I mentioned to you. There's actually one out on the Ligali Islands. See the rectangular one kind of ahead of us there? That is kind of the end of Forneo Beach. Over there, that is where a lot of the locals will go to kind of escape the crowds so they don't have to contend with all the tourists on the main beach. So we're gonna head up the trail here. See a private entrance there. I'm going to set this down and take my jacket off real quick. It's just too hot, especially as you climb up the hill. Looking down at the ferry again. Oh, there are some seats there. It looked like yesterday, it looked like those ferries were just so packed full of people. One thing about Positano, you see that guy, maintenance worker, cleaning. This would be considered to be a public area, public park. They really do keep things clean here. And everywhere we've gone in Italy, with the exception of Naples, Naples is a little bit gritty. Rome was also, well, no, they're both real big cities. It was a little gritty, a little dirty in places. But Sorrento was absolutely gorgeous, pristine. Same thing here with Positano. Really, well kept. When you think about, some of these structures dating back to the medieval days, 1300s, 1400s, and to see what kind of condition they've kept these buildings in, it's really pretty amazing. We're going to get a good look at one of the towers coming up here. And again, these are privately owned now. They're used as residences, as bed and breakfasts. It'd be kind of fun to stay in one of those towers. A lot of history, great view. I'm sure they've got them all updated and modernized inside. It'd be interesting to see what kind of a decorating scheme they have inside, especially with all the round walls. See, again, you can see Ligali Island there. And now we're going to get a view of the other beach that a lot of the tourists don't even know is here. Looking down at the other beach here. And this is called Forneo Beach. You can see you can also rent beach chairs down here. They have a couple businesses, but it's much less people, much more low-key. So if you're looking to escape the crowds, I would say, go over here versus, going to the main beach, because it's just too busy. That was my only complaint yesterday. Well, besides having to walk up and down the steps. Well, down the steps weren't too bad. Walking up was torture. But the other thing was the crowds during the day with all the tourists coming in. The day tourists, it just is so busy that it's not very pleasant. So because we're staying here, we decided to kind of wait and go shopping a little later after the tourists went back to wherever they came from. And that strategy worked pretty well. It did help that it rained a little bit late afternoon too, so people kind of just skipped out of town, I think. Because there's nothing more beautiful than Positano on a bright, sunny, blue day because it reflects on the water and makes the water so blue. But there's nothing so depressing as Positano on a cloudy day when you don't get to see all of that. So we're lucky today, especially given the forecast, that we're able to have nice weather. Here's a hotel, Puppetto. Head down to the beach here. I'm probably going to regret this, going down all of these steps, only to have to go back up these steps. There's the ferry going out in the distance. As steps go, though, these are pretty good. They're nice and wide, so you can kind of recover a little bit as you make your way up. Water temperatures right now along the Mediterranean are about 65 degrees. So, not really swimming temperature, but yesterday we didn't really see anybody in the water. But we did really see a lot of people at the beach just hanging out. One thing that we haven't seen hardly any homeless people here whatsoever, anywhere that we've gone. Even in Naples, and well, maybe Naples we saw a few, but you don't see that many homeless people here. Which, if you're listening to this from Southern California, you know that is a nice thing, not to have to feel badly for all the homeless people. Oh, here's a little doggy down here. Hey, puppy. What you doing? What you doing, huh? What are you doing? Hey, what you doing? You waiting for somebody? Are you waiting for somebody? Oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's waiting for somebody. Yep, so here's Forneo Beach. We're going to end our tour here and look at one of the watchtowers again, and Legali Island. So I'm going to turn this around so you can see me. So thank you everyone for joining me, and sorry that we had some device problems there, some crazy, my device here is, I don't know if it's wearing out or what's going on, but I need to probably buy a new one. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and so long from Positano. What'd you think, huh? What'd you think?